there, my Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your Path of True Love reading for November 2019. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. Got Mal? I do. President of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive. Drawing the Circle Productions has been, as of Samhain, as of Halloween, has been in business for 21 and a half years. We started at Beltane, 1998, yeah. So changing my career, glad to be a YouTuber, enjoying it, getting some clients, paying some bills, right? Loving it so much. I am a Virgo Sun, Pisces Moon, Leo Rising, but I have Venus in Libra, so I'm right in there with you in this reading. Cool, cool. Let's just go over some basics, though. If you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. I'm trying to make my way to 1,000 subscribers so I can do super live chat. As fun as this is, talking to my camera and tuning in and doing the work, there's nothing like communication. I'm a soul number path 3, right? Communicator. So I like interacting with people, and you know, I've got Mercury conjunct Venus in Libra, so I'm very diplomatic, I'm funny, I can deliver truth without severing your head unless that's what's necessary. I am a witch after all. I can speak wisdom with lightning, with thunder, or, you know, with humor, right, and compassion, and that's what I shoot for. Truth without compassion is brutality, says His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So, let's keep in mind, the path of true love is your path, right? It is your path. Oh, and my subscribers, welcome back. You know this stuff already. If you want to zoom ahead, it's okay. The path of true love is your spiritual path, your healing path, your hero's journey, your life path through the lens of your relationships. All different kinds of relationships, romantic, sexual, familial, people at work, friends, and any relationship form on the path of true love is here to help you, right? We're at a certain level of maturity and experience on the spiritual path, healing, all that stuff. You look back eventually sometimes in the rearview mirror and you go, oh my God, that nightmare was really the best thing that could have happened to me. Look at how I grew. Now the thing is to be aware of that as you're going, right? So whatever comes is the quantum, right? The divine plan, the quantum divine plan, giving you the highest version of your life experience that you can have, not to make your personality and your ego happy, although sometimes that happens, but to inspire, instigate, grow your soul, right? Make your soul stronger. So that's what these readings are, even if court cards pop up, which we are going to be using 2 different tarot decks, one for divine masculine energy in you, one for divine feminine energy in you. Even if there are court cards there, that's going to be about those aspects within yourself that you very well may be mirrored to you in other people, relationships in your life. The path of true love is all about becoming true love, because we already are at our core, right? It's just, what is the path for us to what? Realize that. And since God is love, then it's God realization within us that we are, well, in a pagan sense, the hidden children of the gods, but hidden unto even ourselves, until we alchemize enough lead into gold, all right? Oh, so while I'm here, while I'm talking divine masculine, divine feminine, like I said, this is going to be about the energies within you. It has nothing to do with bodily gender, because we all have both. I do consider myself a divine feminine. I mean, why wouldn't I? But, you know, I know that I have my masculine energy, otherwise I couldn't be doing this, right? Masculine energy is action. It's putting things into words and form. Okay, just one more thing and then we'll do the reading. This is a general read, right? If something doesn't resonate, it's not for you. You really do have to use your own intuition when watching any reading on YouTube or elsewhere, right? So some of it might be, like, even if it's just 25% of it that clicks for you, then that's for you, because I'm reading thousands of people here in this collective intuitively. I am a Pisces moon. The moon is in Pisces today, by the way. I'm doing this, so that's why I'm trying to do these reads. I took a nap, I prayed, I meditated. You know, I did 2, taking a break, gonna do 2 more, take a break, see how we go, right, going with the flow. And that's also, by the way, why I do Sun, Moon, Rising as a foundation when I do zodiacal reads. But we'll throw in, or include, I should say, Mercury for the Mercury retrograde reads. Go watch your Samhain read. That was, all of them were like, whoa, trigger warning. Venus for relationship stuff, and occasionally Mars if I'm going to do sexual reads. Again, I don't know that I will, but we'll see. I want to get a different deck for that. Cool? That it, my masters? That good? Yeah, I think we're ready to rock and roll. Breathe. That's the big message. Breathe. Not just because you're an air sign, but just breathe. With every inhale, whether we know it or not, we are drawing in everything that we need from Spirit in that moment. And every time we exhale, we are releasing anything that needs to be released at that moment. And just like you can't take one deep breath to inhale everything you'll ever need ever, nor can you exhale everything that's ready to go. I mean, ready to leave, to be released all in one go, right? So I'm going to try and remember, because I find as I breathe while I'm doing this, I slow down and the energy comes through, but sometimes the energy gets so high and my Virgo sun body just wants like it tries to hold on to it all. It's just easier this way. Cool. So here we go. We're going to start with the Caroline Myss archetype card. All the decks that I read are in the bottom of the description box, and if you go through there, you'll see links for all sorts of stuff. My 2 books. Ebooks are in there. They're on my website, on Vimeo on demand. I've got the Path of True Love classes that I did a 4-part workshop that you can go check those out as well. So here we go. Breathe. My collective pantheons of angels, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, one card to represent this Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love. What is the dominant archetype that they can really get the best out of? Alchemizing the lead to gold, bringing the shadow to light for November 2019 on the path of true love. Ooh, the rebel. Good for you. I love the rebel archetype. I mean, in its shadow, it's a nightmare. But isn't that true of all archetypes, right? So this is going to be the dominant energy. Every other card that I pull is going to be relating back to this one, and I plug it all together in the end, right? So usually I read the light and then the shadow. No, since those Samhain reads, read the shadow first, then the light. So the shadow attribute, which usually people most think of in terms of a rebel, right? Shadow attribute rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Which always makes me think of what happened to the punk scene in the 80s. Like, punk really started in the 70s, but then by the 80s and the 90s, it was like everybody's doing it now. It's no longer a rebellion, right? But also to rebel against legitimate authority, right? It's like, I'm having such a bad day, I'm going to drive on the incorrect side of the road. I used to say the right side, the wrong side of the road, but, you know, whatever, wherever you are, right, wrong, right, left. So, you know, feel that. Can you feel that in yourself? That rebellious, like, oh, fuck the world, let's burn it down, like revolutionary. The rebel and the revolutionary are essentially the same archetype, right? So, and remember, our country was based on it, right? In the United States, you might not be in the United States, duh. But America, certainly the United States, was built on a rebellion, right? The revolution, right? The American Revolution. So let's look at the light attribute, because I think you'll catch on to that American Revolution thing here. Light attribute challenges authority to effect social change. It's a lot of that going on. The second waivers, right? Really challenging authority to effect social change. Rejects spiritual systems that do not serve your inner needs. Now, that's what we're looking for on the path of true love. If you are in some sort of spiritual system that's not serving you, leaving you dry, doesn't mean that it always did. It might, like I know for myself, I've moved through so many paths. I'm an eclectic witch. I've studied all sorts of stuff. And at a certain point, Spirit gives you, your soul calls you forward, your higher self calls you forward into the next thing. So keep that in mind. We're going to keep going back to that rebel as now we ask the angels. My angels, please, one card in clarity for this Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign rebel. On the path of true love for November 2019. They're saying, breathe, Mark, breathe. Please, one card in clarity. There we go. Miracles. Yeah, see what happens when you breathe, right? Now breathe in the miracle. So we've got a rebel here with a miracle. Instead of without a cause, you may be without a cause, but you're not without a miracle, right? Now, okay, all right, I'll do this, my angels. Okay, so what is a miracle? There are 2 different ways to look at miracles, in my opinion. One is the standard. Something happens that defies natural law. walking on water, water into wine, laying hands on the dead, and, you know, resurrection. The seven wonders. Go have yourself an American Horror Story Coven field day with that, right? Things that just defy natural law. But the spiritual miracle that we're talking about here is pretty much, it is in alignment with A Course in Miracles. I'm a student and teacher of A Course in Miracles, and I'm not funny for a witch, that's how eclectic I am. Where it is a shift in consciousness from fear to love through the alchemical ingredient of forgiveness. Now, if the book was called A Course in Forgiveness, no one would read it, because nobody wants to forgive. The ego certainly doesn't. You know, our own pain and suffering wants to rebel, right? Burn them down. If it's illegitimate, abusive, you know, neglectful authority. I get that. But there's something miraculous here. So, you know, and it's not always either or. Like, sometimes there is a shift, the internal shift of a miracle of forgiveness that, you know, then it ripples out. This is a quantum world we're in anyway. People keep talking about fifth dimensional consciousness. When I grew up, it was called oneness consciousness, unity consciousness, which is, it's not like, oh, I have to see the world as all one. No, the world is all one. The third dimension is the illusion of separation. So, you know, as we heal within, we don't just heal our stuff so that our world can change, like our personal timeline, but as we love and heal and forgive ourselves, others, whatever rises within us, it heals the collective and not just the internal worlds of other people. It absolutely triggers things. The Course says that a miracle is never wasted. It affects people and situations of which you have no idea in the collective. Isn't that fascinating? I know. Now, we're doing something a little different this time. We're going to be looking at, we're using, like I said, 2 tarot decks. We're going to be looking at the goddesses who are going to give us a little insight into your divine feminine, your yin energy, and the mythic tarot, the gods are going to speak through that for your divine masculine energy. So here we go. Let's do this. Breathe. There we go. You feel it? It's amazing what a couple of deep breaths can do. Remember, if you ever want to deepen the breath naturally, just deepen the exhale. The inhale is automatic. Are you waiting to inhale? My goddesses, please. 1 card in clarity for this Libra Rebel Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for November 2019. Please, this Libra Rebel with a miracle. What's going on, my delicious goddesses, my Aphrodite in particular? What's going on here for this Libra Rebel in their feminine energy? It's this one. I can feel it. Oh, analysis. Big shock, air sign. So you're sort of like thinking about it. You're going back and forth and back and forth. Not should I, shouldn't I, because that's fire, right? That's will, desire. Should I choose this or should I choose that? This is about gathering information, gathering information, gathering information. I'm going to tell you something as a Virgo. I can analyze anything forever. But at a certain point, there has to be a shift in consciousness so that you can see it from a higher perspective. In other words, what is it? The problem cannot be solved from the same level of consciousness that created the problem. You have to transcend it, right? I think that's, I'm pretty sure it's Albert Einstein, but I've never been a direct quoter. I've always paraphrased. I go from meaning, right? So a lot of thinking. Not so much the overthinking of the later sword cards, right? Blades of swords in this deck. But it's your divine feminine. So this could be an intuitive process of feeling out, well, what is that? But what about that? About gathering information. Like, for instance, okay, this is a silver ring, right? It's made from a $1 silver coin from New York. Got it at a wonderful street fair in Brooklyn. Oh, Bushwick is so cool. And, you know, if I was going to analyze the ring, I'd say, well, it's made of silver. It's from this year. It was made by this artist. It weighs this much. It's just gathering information. It's not giving a value. That's a valuation or appraisal, right? You get a ring appraised. It's like, oh, it weighs this much. It's made of this, right? So it's just gathering information, but because it's the divine feminine, it is more of an internal process, which doesn't necessarily mean you're keeping it secret, but it's something like you got a piece of information and you're gathering information, and inside you're sort of working it through your internal structure, looking at it, feeling it out, you could say, from both sides, but it's definitely an intellectual process. That's part of contemplation. You take a thought and you work it down, right? In through the chakra system, if you will, into your energy field, you fill it out. Feel it out and fill it out, I guess. Breathe. Let's ask the gods. My gods, please, one card in clarity. For this Libra collective, there you are, Sun, Moon, Eros, rising Venus sign on the path of true love, this rebel archetype for November 2019. Please, an indication, a card of clarity about their masculine energy this month. Page of Cups, Narcissus. Now, what's just so funny about that is Narcissus, right? Beautiful, gorge, like totally gorgeous guy, right? Essentially, spurns a divine being, I believe a divine female, just saying, and he is cursed to fall in love with his own reflection, and he stays there so long that he turns into the flower Narcissus. Now and I've said this in the other readings, what's funny about that is Narcissus is the foundation for narcissism. But what's so interesting is they don't have the power of self-reflection, right? They don't have empathy. They don't, right? A sense of entitlement. It's a demon, entitlement. It's one of the 7 deadly sins. So there's something going on here with the divine masculine energy here, perhaps dealing with a narcissist. Now, here's the thing. If you're dealing with a narcissist, and if you're wondering, well, are they mirroring back to me? Am I a narcissist? If you really have to ask if you're a narcissist, like if you're afraid of being a narcissist, you're probably not. Narcissists don't usually have that sense of self-reflection to, like, even if the evidence is right in front of them, they're like, oh no, it's all you, you're crazy, right? And then they start gaslighting left, right, and center. Go do the research, man. Google narcissism, covert narcissism, overt narcissism. There are more forms than that. But with that Page of Cups, you know, traditionally that is about a new message of love. So just putting both of those out here because of that Miracle card and that Rebel card, you know, you are the rebel in this reading. There's something here about wanting to offer a cup of love, but it's a page, it's a message, it's young, it's not the innocence of the child within you, but there's something immature here. And maybe that's being given to you, and that's what the divine masculine you is reacting or responding to. Remember, there's a difference between reaction and response. Reaction is like a knee-jerk. It's a reflex. Response is considered. It is contemplated. So maybe there is this desire to offer love, to desire emotion, showing your emotion, being honest about your emotion, but still in that process of analyzing it. And if you are in a phase of self-reflection and healing, if you're like on your spiritual path, the path of true love, like hardcore, metaphorical balls to the wall, then you know that you're doing everything that you need to do to heal any narcissism within you. But remember, there's also passive narcissism, which is everything's our fault, right? The overt, let's call it aggressive, like passive-aggressive, aggressive narcissist. It's all your fault. It's never their fault, even though they're the one burning down the village, right? They have the torch and the gasoline, and it's like, you burned this down. It's your fault. You made me do this, right? So if you're really doing your work, like for instance, if you are what's considered a first waver, more empathic, then you know you're healing what you need to heal here, but also know that it is the first wave empaths that are often targeted by narcissists, overt and covert. So we've got overt narcissist, which is the aggressive. We've got the passive narcissist, which is the empath, and then we have the covert, which seems to bop in between the two of them. Like they play small, they play weak, so that you'll build them up. I need you, right? It's tricky shit, right? Tricky shit. So that, I mean, when that card of Narcissus comes up, it's like, I gotta really stop and look at that and say, well, there's several meanings in here. Remember, I'm reading for a collective of thousands of people. But even as I touch the card there, I get the hesitancy. I get the hesitancy that you really do want to come. You want a new beginning in love, even if it is just light and playful, and see where it goes. But that analysis back and forth, back and forth, back and forth might indicate that your divine masculine energy needs more time, right? Needs more time. And it is. It's Mercury retrograde in Scorpio right now. It's like, keep doing your healing. Keep working on you, because then you can rebel against the authorities within yourself, right? The ego, your fears, the chains that bind you through miracles, right? And believe me, your work is required in miracles, but our work compared to what Spirit does is a teeny tiny percentage. We just make the decision to heal, to forgive. We ask for the miracle, and then we let the divine do the rest, but we have to participate, right? It's work. It's miracle work. It would be a miracle worker. You want to be a rebellious miracle worker. You want to make social justice change on this place. Do it through Spirit, although that's a lot of what I'm a first waver. Totally a first waver. We're laying out, we're healing the energy grid. We're healing the energy patterns within ourselves and in the collective, so that the second wavers, the social justicers, can manifest that in two forms. So the first wave is divine yin, divine feminine. The second wave is divine yang, divine masculine. Just saying. All right, my masters, please. One card in clarity for this Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Rebel archetype for November 2019 on the path of true love. Please, we've got the Rebel with miracles analysis and that Page of Cups. Please. Oh, what say you? Defensiveness. Your walls are up. Your walls are up. Now, sometimes that is absolutely necessary. If that's about setting boundaries for yourself, that's great. That's great. You know, it's like boundaries and self-esteem and intuition all go hand in hand. Did you know that? Boundaries and self-esteem, certainly, but your intuition is based on your self-estimation, because if you are like, I don't know, I estimate myself is not that great, then your intuition, when it comes in, not only are you going to question it, but you're going to ask other people what they feel about it, right? So I'm getting that's part of this here, because the intuitive is, the divine feminine is trying to figure some stuff out through analysis. But then the other energy on this card is that your walls are up and your cannon's loaded, right? It's like, you gonna come for me? I'm gonna blow your shit up. You gonna come for me? You better sharpen your claws. Tell me, is you man and all? Those Jimmy Choos are killing you. Size 15 foot in a size 10 shoe. Girl, I'm way too blessed to be stressed. Why pay more when you can pay less? I'm sorry, I'm a devotee of Bob the Drag Queen, but Katya comes first. Katya always comes first. You know what I mean. And a little Trixie Mattel on the side. Let's ask the higher selves of all involved. Your higher self, because I'm Venus and Libra. My higher self, let's see what's going on. Interestingly enough, I did my own reading before, so I'm not really necessarily connecting with this one like I did the Virgo read. That was like, holy fuck balls. You know, how do you keep yourself out of a collective when you're part of a collective? You just can't. So here we go. Breathe. Breathe with me, Libras. Leave with me, breatheless. The higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity for this Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for November 2019. We've got this Rebel archetype with a miracle. With the Two of Blades analysis in the Divine Feminine, we've got the Page of Cups in the Divine Masculine. I also got, it's the Divine Masculine that's protecting the Divine Feminine. About an incoming offer, not sure that because there is a defense, but it feels like for a lot of us that it's a healthy defense. It's like, you are not going to do this to me again. You are not going to do this to me again. You come clean or don't come at all. Thank you, higher selves. Sometimes it's just a shift of channel to see it differently. So please, one card in clarity for this Libra Rebel collective on the path of true love for November 2019. Oop. Oop. That one. Bob, have faith. Have faith. Trust your faith in this situation, which I think then really speaks to, well, actually both the Rebel and the Miracle here. It's like, what is your faith? What do you have faith in? Now, the truth is, I want to say this right, faith is an aspect of consciousness, like a currency, like money, that we are all downloaded, we have downloaded into us every day. But where do you spend it? Do you put faith in the fear, faith in the hope, faith in worst case scenario, faith in best case scenario? And don't judge yourself about that. We're all in different places, right? Like, I'm pretty sure if it's raining outside, I can have total faith that I'm bringing an umbrella, and I'm probably, my boots are going to get wet. That was easy. Why? Because that's assured, that's repeated. But the rebel here needs to have faith in their cause. They need to have faith in themselves. They need to have faith in some sort of higher power, some spiritual system that supports your inner needs. And that might be the thing. It's like you're trying to find that. You're analyzing different things here, but to have faith, trust your faith in this situation. So on the path of true love, you are being given every, see, that's what I have faith in now. Oh, it wasn't easy. Oh, everything is happening for me, huh? Oh, everything is here to help me, huh? And then as I kept going and kept refocusing, look, a black cat appeared out of nowhere. I have faith in my savvy. I love you, boy. Mama's working. Go on. And it's not even close to their dinner time, but, you know, daylight savings time, they think it is. That to have faith that the quantum is actually working for me, that everything is helping my soul grow and evolve. To remember that we are souls, breathe, that we're chosen to play these roles, souls in roles, right? We were chosen, we were cast to play this role for the development of the soul. It's a lot of assonance in one phrase, but there you have it, right? So have faith in this. Really, really good lineup, but we're going to end with one card. Now, this is the new deck that I'm adding, the Journey of Love Oracle. So delicious. Alana Fairchild, Rasuli, and Richard Cohn, C-O-H-N. One is the author, one is the artist, one is the poet. So since I only got this deck a couple of weeks ago when I went to Saratoga to visit my mom and my stepfather, Hera and Zeus, as I call them, there they are right behind me in terms of statuary, right at my crown. I love this deck, but I haven't brought it in depth study. I'm a working witch, you know. But every time I pull a card for myself or a situation off camera, it's just so to the point, but in this beautiful way, right? This beautiful, like one time made me well up. I was like, these are amazing, right? So that's why I've brought them into this read. I also used them in the True Lovers Collective read that I did on Sunday, right? So let's have a look-see-duck-see, shall we? Now, we started with the archetype cards with the pantheons, right? The collective pantheon, same thing here. We begin and end with the same thing. Breathe. There we go. That's the flow. I can feel my shoulders getting higher and higher as I read, as the energy builds, trying to get out my throat chakra. My collective pantheons of angels, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, one Journey of Love card for this Libra collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, this rebel on the path of true love for November 2019. You started us off, the collective, with the rebel archetype. The angels are talking about miracles. The goddess is talking about the divine feminine here as the Two of Blades, analysis. The gods are talking about the divine masculine here as the Page of Cups. The masters are talking about this rebel as defensiveness. And the higher selves of all involved are saying, have faith. Trust your faith in this situation. In other words, you're kind of feeling it, now trust it. So please, one Journey of Love card for this Libra rebel in the collective for November 2019. Ooh. Ooh. Knowing without knowing. Faith. Knowing without knowing. Now, I don't have these memorized. I'm going to read it from the book. Right? And they're not pages and pages. They're usually like maybe 2 pages tops. So let's look at number 41, 39, 40, 41. All right. So knowing without knowing. And it's an interesting picture. I don't think I've even read or looked at this one before. It's like it is a picture, but a lot of it is erased. Like it's not all filled in yet. Maybe it wasn't erased. Maybe it just hasn't all been drawn in yet. Now this we're going to breathe through, right? Breathe. Sometimes the heart knows in a way that the concrete mind and memory cannot. Analysis. we feel something that we cannot quite express. Perhaps others are quick to dismiss it as meaningless whimsy or irrationality. Yet that feeling beyond the mind's capacity to fully perceive is the ancient truth of your greater self reaching through time and space to connect with you. So this is about the higher self, the inner self, the true self. Like a phone line extending from a more ancient place in the world, you can hear it crackle perhaps, not the clearest reception, yet you can also sense the love traveling along that telephone line. Breathe. The things that you feel and that do not appear to make sense are the things to trust most right now of faith. You are being guided by a force far greater than your own mind. An ancient divine brilliance is reaching to you, communicating with you. You may not hear or understand it with clarity as yet, but you can feel it. Trust what you feel. So that's the description. Now here's the oracle. This oracle speaks to you of the opening up of your higher mind, of the part of your intelligence that can dialogue directly with the forces of divine guidance and creation. These forces use symbols, abstract communications through dreams and visions, through impulses that circumvent your conscious mind and have words streaming out of your mouth or flowing through your mind that you have not created of your own volition. Start a YouTube channel. Because if you got that, I mean, we're all getting there. We'll all be there eventually. For the first time this part of the month. Whose words are these, you wonder? It is your ancient self that speaks. Trust the strange and mysterious at this time. It is another way, an ancient way of wisdom that you are tapping into now. Enjoy this new sacred connection unfolding. This oracle is also confirmation that you have relationships around you now and continuing to come to you that are from times long ago past, karmic connections that will take you further on your journey of love. Knowing without knowing, faith. And the poem, this is very simple. I have been here before. Aromas open the doors. I walk through knowing. Something's calling you forward, Libra. And that really does make sense with every other card here that's on the table. Let me put it together for you, shall I? Yeah, you're rebelling against shit that doesn't work for you anymore in the light. And in the shadow, you are just doing it to fit in. You're rebelling to conform, or out of your own anger, you are rejecting legitimate boundaries, legitimate laws. Now, I'm not feeling that, because I feel like if you're getting readings on YouTube, right, then you're trying to heal. You're trying to do things within magical law, perhaps, universal law, etc. And with that then comes the miracle. So what's a rebellious miracle? Something that may turn things upside down, but actually they were already upside down, so they're being turned right side up. But most likely within yourself first, right? That shift of consciousness has to shift within you first. And certainly the divine feminine you is just in analysis, thinking. But those thoughts then must be bringing up emotional stuff, right? Because you can't analyze something and see it as, oh, this is going to get me what I want. And then it was like, no, that's never going to get me what I want. Back and forth, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. That's going to affect your emotional state, right? And that's what I'm now feeling with this divine masculine card here of the Page of Cups. It's like, it's not indecision in the sense, because that's fire, but this is the mental process you might be trying to make a decision through. So things are a little muddled for you. So in terms of receiving a cup of love, giving a cup of love, being loving, be loving to you, because here we've got the defense. Now, defensiveness, what are we usually defending, right? They said to me, through me before, that it feels like the divine masculine here is a little hesitant, a little not sure whether or not to make this move, because the divine feminine, the emotional part's like, well, I need more information. I don't know if it's safe. I don't know if it's safe. Well, defensiveness, right? So it's okay if it's a healthy boundary. If like, I'm going to take this slow, it's Mercury retrograde, let me rethink this. That's great. But the intuitive process, the path of true love is ultimately about not just balancing the divine masculine and feminine in you, but marrying them. It's the sacred union within the self. That's what gradually heals every other relationship in you, because you heal the inner, whatever you want to call that, embracing the shadow, alchemy, a miraculous process, a miraculous marriage of the divine female and the divine male within you. That's going to change the entire quantum field, not just for you, but for all of life, right? That balance, because the illusion of separation, masculine and feminine, unity consciousness, fifth dimensional unity, right? The divine union. And so your higher self is saying, just have faith. We've got this. You're not in control. All the outcomes have been scripted, but which outcome are you going to get? We're not in control of that. Whatever outcomes we get from moment to moment, let alone in the things that we want, are already scripted, and they are to help us heal, grow, learn, become the best that we can be, and fulfill our role in the divine plan. Because as we heal, all heal, right? So every little bit. And the funny thing is, you think, well, I just healed this one tiny thing, but that's the paradox of the divine. One tiny little thing that you heal inside of you can change your entire life. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. That's the first line of the 50 Principles in A Course in Miracles. You might want to check it out. And then what just totally makes sense here, knowing without knowing. Can you be truly rebellious and say, all right, I know I'm being led somewhere. I'm hearing voices, you know what I mean? It's like there's this ancient voice. You can't really hear it clearly. It's like crackling on the line, but you can feel the love. And that's what I think the divine feminine here is like, what is this? What is this? What is this feeling so sudden and new, right? Holy, what is this? What is this? And it feels like then the divine masculine is like, well, okay, so let's take baby steps. Let's take baby steps. What is this? This exploration. And then, of course, knowing without knowing, what do we call that? We call that faith. We call that faith. Good reading, Libras. I mean, really, talk about an opportunity for spiritual growth. And you don't have to conform, you know, that's the thing with that rebel. You can, look, I'm an eclectic witch, because witch means wise person, gender neutral, at least for me, right? Keep it in the eye. So I know I can study whatever the hell I want. I can practice whatever I feel like, whatever, really, whatever my angels, guides, masters, gods, all of them guide me to, right? I trust that anything, not anything that comes my way, I have to immediately embrace and integrate, but it's here to help me. So even if it helps me for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? But that you can have faith in this process. Oh, really, really good. But also know that it's okay to know that you don't know. That's the grace of humility. Oh my God, go read my book, Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. It's in the links below. Ebook, you download it right to your phone. The artwork is gorgeous. I did them all myself. Editor Jill Schweitzer, she's so amazing. She did a great job. But the grace of humility, I call it the maiden grace. There's a maiden, a mother, and a crone grace. The maiden grace, oh God. Please grant me the maiden grace of humility to know that I do not know, but that I am willing to be shown. That it's okay to not know, because you're not supposed to know yet, but you will, and it'll happen much easier if you what? Breathe, relax, know that you don't know, but have faith that somehow, you don't have to like it, but that somehow this is all happening for you on the path of true love. That was bloody brilliant, my Libras. Oh, you rebels, yeah, you rebels. You got a cause now. I love you all so much. And here, may the Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love for November 2019 and beyond. That they grow, that they heal, that they rebel with the miracles, and that this analysis and this step towards love is done with some of this defensiveness healthy and the rest of it healed. That they may have faith and be in knowing without knowing for the well-being of all. And so it is. Thank you so much for your time. Please like and subscribe. Check the links below. And for now, my beloveds, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed, blessed be.